Well, hello and welcome to Chubs Gone Wild, the episode where Tom returns from his fantastic vacation in the heat of hell.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, you guys were hot up here as well, so
Yeah.
it's just the difference between here and there is in Palm Springs, it cools off to the mid 80s at night, where here we cool off to the upper 50s and low 60s at night. So the ground and everything gets an opportunity to cool down from the day's heat. Yeah, it's crazy. It never gets cool down there, until like October or November, I guess. But and you'd think that the desert at night would cool off
Yeah.
better.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, that's what they always used to say was, oh, the desert's horrible because it's so hot during the day and freezing at night.
Right. Yeah.
Where's the freezing?
Well, I guess that's why a lot of older people, thin older people, move down there. They're like,
Well, in
it's
Florida,
so cold all the time. Oh,
Texas, Palm
yeah.
Springs, yeah, uh, Arizona. A lot of people go to Arizona to find the heat.
Yeah.
Well, they just don't. They don't want that winter cold is the big problem.
Well, that and the I guess in Arizona the dry air or something like that. There less allergies or something. I don't
No, because we're dry here as well, so that
know.
can't be it. It's got to be something else. I
I
think
don't
it's.
know.
I think it's
Insanity.
just. I just think they don't like the cold winters, so they'll deal with the hot summers.
No, no, thank you. I will wear a blanket before I wanna,
Would you
go
say
outside
burqa?
and catch on fire. In the what? I'll wear a blanket.
Oh, I thought you said I'll wear a burqa. I'm like, why are you wearing a burqa?
Well, on the right occasion, as long as it's not cultural appropriation, cultural misappropriation, and to put the miss in the right place. Ah! Anyway, hey, welcome to Chubs Gone Wild, episode
Oh,
458, recorded on August 9th, 29th, 2022. It is currently 95 degrees and sunny, or at least on its way to that, outside the Chubs Gone Wild remote studios, where it is 53 days until Canadian Thanksgiving. Oh, ah. And they have maple pie. Nope, nothing. Okay. 63 days till Halloween, 87 till Thanksgiving, 118 days, just 118 days until Christmas, and 64 days until TJ Zombie Girl retires. She stands up from her desk on the last day and she throws her stuff in a box and she struts out of there. First I was afraid, I was petrified. Oh no. Oh.
it's best to
It's
start. It's best to start taking the stuff out earlier,
yes. Mm-hmm.
so your box isn't as heavy.
Right, and you can get more like office supplies in it. No, no.
You don't
Oh.
need office supplies anymore.
Take this
Seriously,
job and shove it.
well, what do you need office supplies for if you've got a computer? You don't need paper. Um,
Post-its,
you know, you don't need paper clips. You don't need
staplers for throwing
pins, staplers. Yeah, I mean,
pens
office supplies.
for the post-its. Yeah. Okay. I guess I like them just because they comfort me. Anyway, hello. Patreon offers folks a way to support creators and receive rewards not open to the general public, like special podcasts, videos, books, and more, including a new episode of My Life in Fragments, and some articles and other things, including the new episode of Eden's Bay. Ooh, lots of fun stuff over there. And we want to thank our current patrons, Clint, Nephi Nick, DJ Sausage, from Univaz, Eric, Sean, Charles, Brother Sinatus, Phoenix Dave Kingsley, and Moose Pete. Please visit patreon.com/Matt Burlingame to become a supporter of the show for as little as $1 a month. has to be at least $1 because Patreon has to take their fees out. They gouge us artists. Okay. Anyway, so on this day, Hurricane Katrina made landfall in New Orleans, Louisiana, as a Category 3 hurricane in 2005. Despite being only the third most powerful storm of the 2005 hurricane season, Katrina was among the worst natural disasters in the history of the United States. In the wake of the storm, there were over 50 failures of levees and flood walls around New Orleans and its suburbs, and the levee and flood wall failures caused widespread flooding. It was horrible. It was so horrible. I remember so much of the news during that time and watching that. But you
Well,
know who didn't open their doors or do anything? The Olstein Church.
yeah.
Yeah.
Well, what's interesting is that here we are. So Katrina would, because the way they give it is with the letters. So that was the 13th, JK. Yeah, 13th. No, not 13th, 11th. I don't. Anyway, it was.
Yeah.
We haven't had a whole lot of hurricanes yet this year,
Yeah. I have.
which is, I
Yeah.
guess, knock on wood. And then the forest fires have been um, less. I mean, we haven't had a bad air day because of forest fires this year. So
Mhm.
I'm hoping we can sneak by without
It would be very nice, you know.
yeah, give
They got out,
everybody a year break.
yeah. Well, they got out there and they raked the forests. That's what it was. They raked the forests and there were no fires. Okay. But yeah, you're absolutely right. And I kind of noticed that too, especially with the fires out here. We weren't having, days so bad that we went out and saw the cars covered in ash.
Yeah, there are a lot of tornadoes though. There have been a lot of tornadoes,
Mhm.
especially upper Midwest, where there's usually not a lot of tornadoes.
Right.
So
Yeah,
that was kind of strange, but you know,
things are
hope for
shifting.
the best and a good year of rain too. That will good.
Yes.
Throw that into the bucket while we're making
Well,
wishes.
as they said, it's California, especially Northern California. We're due for our century, super flood. Uh,
You're
anyway,
still on that, huh?
well, you know what? When I was younger, I used to be afraid of, diseases that would wipe people out all over the world, and everyone said, "Oh, don't be stupid." And here we are. So don't mock me because it might happen. And then we'll be recording at some place and I'll be all, "So Tom, do you remember when?" So anyway, just saying.
Yeah.
All right. Hey, today we celebrate some other holidays, including according to Hoyle Day. I have no idea. Chop Suey, individual rights. That's the Karen's holiday. Uh, International Day Against Nuclear Tests, lemon juice, more herbs, less salt day. Hmm. Motorist consideration. Hmm. National, yeah. So there's a something with a dosis day. So we're gonna leave it at that. National Swiss Wine Growers Day. I had no idea that there were bottles with holes in them. Swiss. You never know. And
Yeah,
then
and how
what?
did you not make it as a comedy writer? I don't get it. I don't get it. All your jokes just hit all the time. It's just
I know. Maybe not with you, but
oh,
that's
what?
because we've written so many funny things that we're just burned out.
That must be it.
Yeah. Oh, also, potteries. Oh, yes. Potteries Bottle Oven Day. Hmm. Okay. Sounds like something out of a book written by someone that we no longer support. Today's affirmation. Everyone, please take a moment, center yourselves. There is so much love in my heart, and it is wonderful to share it with my family and friends. Oh, well, friends. And my mom. She's family. The rest of them can go fuck. No, I don't want it to be that way. All right, let's talk about some birthdays, though. We've got lots of birthdays coming up because 9 months ago, people were really horny. Well, not, I mean, 9 months and many years ago. All right, anyway, happy birthday to George Mark. Seriously. Oh, Bianca. Okay, different spelling. I wasn't sure. Noah Christian. And coming up, Linda Andy, author Addison Albright. Oh, that Jed, that wonderful Jed. So Rachel, Catherine, John, Kathy, Juan, Lucine, Luciano. Got to get it right. Luciano. Also, Adam, Bjorn, Stephen, Day, Nate. Oh, Nate. He's what we met him in the Vegas years ago with his husband Tom. Yeah.
Yeah.
Also, Reese, Lily. Oh, author David Matthew Barnes. And author RJ Scott and Jeff. So, happy birthday, everybody. Hope you have a wonderful time. You know, David Matthew Barnes is just a fascinating person. We've worked with him, of course, in the past, and it just some. I say many good things with about him, but I always have just a little tinge of bitterness because he stole my Ellie Award for Best Original Play. All right, moment of silence. Done. All right.
Wait, which one?
Paperclip Messiah. He had a play that came out at the same time, and they went with his instead of the, you know, incestuous priest with a split personality. I don't know.
Yeah, well,
It was old people.
I know trolling got ripped off
Oh yes.
this award because I talked to the Ellie judges.
Mm.
I mean, they actually they offered, you know, their because I had a bunch of people that came in. Well, the same judges came in for Just Us Girls the year after trolling, and they're going, "Oh, did you? Oh, you must have won for. You're the same person that did trolling, right?" And I go, "Yeah, yeah." And he goes, "Well, you." One guy goes, "Well, you must have won, right?" And I go, "No, they went with some play that was from a group that was closing down." And he goes, "You're kidding. That was my bottom. That's one I the lowest score to." And then another person, actually that same weekend, came in because they really enjoyed Just Us Girls,
Mm.
and were really happy because they when they saw, well, they didn't see that it was me, but when they found out it was me, they go, "Oh, because we love trolling so much the year." So I had two number ones for trolling
Yeah.
out of five judges, and both of them had given the other one the lowest score. I checked. So but then I found out that the judging committee, not the judges, but
Mm.
the committee has the right to change who wins.
That is just
I know it
so
sucked.
ridiculous.
It
And
sucked.
and especially that was one of the most amazing sets that I have ever seen built. That was a literal living room. That's what I wanted, and that's what they gave me.
Yeah.
It was brilliant.
Well, and poor George had to take it down every
Ugh,
weekend.
because that damn piano in the middle of the
Right.
stage.
So yeah, it was quite a production, and a bunch of really wonderful actors, and
Yes.
just so much fun.
Yeah. All right. Well, memory lane. Um, all right. So we did birthdays. We don't really have any feedback at the moment. Do you have any chub hugs that you would like to send out?
Well, I just want to send chub hugs out to all the people that are still dealing with this heat.
Ugh,
And you know, as we've mentioned, that the heat's gonna be up to, I think they're saying in some places in Northern California, it's going to be up to like 115 degrees.
Mm, mm, mm.
And so, that means everybody's got their air conditioning on. We're going to have blackouts or brownouts. Thank God I have a pool.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah.
It's because it's well, you've seen it when we have these kind of heat waves.
Mhm.
And this one's going on for 7 days, they're predicting, of over, I think there was one day that was 101, and the rest were like 103, 4, 5, 6, 7. Just insanity.
Awful. It's really bad. Yeah. Well, that is a good chub hug, and I will take it. As for me, I want to send chub hugs out to basically anyone that needs one. And there are many. But on positive note, I did go over to a neighbor's house for dinner. Um, this last well, on Saturday, and it was absolutely wonderful. So I wanted to send them out a big chub hug. Perfectly cooked salmon on a grill. Phenomenal. I have never had salmon this absolutely wonderful. And being cooked on a grill too, that is skill. So anyway. All right. Hey, monkeypox. It usually starts within 3 weeks and includes flu-like symptoms, rashes, and
Of
sores.
what? Of getting it? Of like
Usually
contact?
start within 3 weeks.
Of what?
Yes, yes,
Okay,
of
after
being
contact.
infected,
Got it. Okay.
and include flu-like symptoms, rashes, and sores, and can look like pimples or blisters. The illness typically lasts about 2 to 4 weeks and is spread through direct touching infected areas of skin, body fluids, intimate contact, and touching items such as clothing, clothes, bedding, or towels used by someone with the virus. You can learn more at cdc.gov, and this information is sponsored by Golden Rule Services at sacgrs.org.
Um,
I what
Hey, now if you had gotten the smallpox vaccine
they aren't
back
sure.
when, okay,
Yeah, but it is a derivative of the smallpox vaccine. So they think that you might have a little immunity to it,
right.
but they still want you to get this. Um, they what was I gonna say? I forget whether it was the CDC or somebody was trying to classify this as an STD, which is just ridiculous. I didn't notice whether they were trying to do it because it might help them increase emergency funding or get vaccines out there more, or if there was a specific reason, but it just, from the headline that I read, it sounded a little ridiculous.
My psoriasis comes
Well,
up little pimples,
right.
and it's so weird because when I walk into some place and people immediately look at my arms, I go, not monkeypox, psoriasis. I've been tested.
Uh, it's like when we walk into some place and cough now, it's like, oh, it was just dust. I'm fine. Mm, yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, you don't want it. But my only concern was classifying as an STD will reinforce the heterosexual don't need to worry about it type.
Right. Yeah, I know. I
Yes.
know exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah.
And it's a tool for the people who um the Karens of the world
Uh-huh.
to play with, they play off of, and it's horrible.
Yep.
Yeah.
All right, queer headlines. Florida school district now requires teachers to out LGBTQ students because of the Don't Say Gay.
I
Mom,
thought that got thrown out.
it could have. This was from a week ago, so
Okay, yeah.
yeah. I certainly hope it did. Moms for Liberty activist wants LGBTQ students separated into special classes. Those classes would be fabulous. Gay realtor launches a website to help LGBTQ Texans flee the state.
Oh, yeah, that sounds like
Interesting.
yeah, somebody's making money off of other people's misery.
You know, yes, but do they really need to down there? I would say getting out of Florida would be more important than Texas at the moment.
Well,
Abortions,
just
women.
depends on where you're living, you know.
That's true. That's very, very true.
I mean,
Let's
you don't sit in Texas and go, well, at least we're not Florida, because
yeah,
you got your own shit to deal with.
yeah.
But if Beto comes in, then the place can, be
Let's
better.
hope. Uh, Texas social workers are quitting rather than implementing Greg Abbott's anti-trans order. One employee called Greg Abbott's order to investigate the parents of trans kids effing bullpoop. Protesters demand end to law that allow Mormon church not to report child abuse. Over 20 U.S. states allow church officials not to report any admissions of child abuse that occurred during a religious confession. Admissions of child abuse. See, that's kind of badly worded because it makes it sound like, well, as long as you're in the middle of confession when it happens, not a problem. Hmm.
Yeah.
Anyway, massive hack reveals anti-LGBTQ Liberty Council may have broken IRS rules. Two of the Liberty Council's affiliated nonprofits seemingly endorsed Trump for president. IRS rules prohibit such endorsements. Yeah, that's one of the things that you learn. Nonprofits and certain things like that can't do that. Anyway, Anglican churches, by the way. Mm-hmm. Tax the churches. Libertarian resigns after violent. Oh, sorry. I take it back. It's not a bad person. A librarian resigns after violent threats over LGBTQ books that aren't even available. Library officials repeatedly said that they didn't carry any of the books. Then armed protesters began showing up at libraries. This whole book banning and all this shit is just like, what the fuck? Half the country's back in the 30s and half the country's back in the 70s. Really, really irritating. All right. That said, Tom wants to talk to you about.
Well, yeah, when we, first of all, we watch a lot of programs while we're on vacation on my iPad. So we decided that the next iPad is going to be the bigger one. So just, because we're watching everything on the iPad screen, which isn't bad, but the stuff on the television is not good. So just a bigger screen would be a little bit more fun. Give us that way we're not huddled together so closely enjoying the show. Give it a little room. But we did see an awful lot of stuff. We're into Glee. It's season 4.
Oh,
Rachel and Kurt are in New York, and it's been very exciting, very, very good time. And I know you hate Glee, but
I do not hate Glee, but after season
it's
4,
like it.
it was just kind of went, what?
Well, they wanted to, the audience wanted to see the people who graduated storylines continue.
And I was not against it for the first season, but after that, it just, I mean, they must have some super saver flight, how they can be from New York to Ohio in 10 minutes to see a friend do a show in the class.
Well, it's important.
It's like, I guess.
So
But then also that's the season that Finn died. Not this one, but the next one's the season
right,
that he died.
yeah. So let's see. RuPaul's Drag Race. This is Celebrity Drag Race, where they have the
Yes.
people dressed up, so no one knows who they are except for the people who dress them.
Mm.
And this week it was Tom from Queer Eye. He was the the guy during the first. This is the original.
First one, yeah.
Yeah, he was the one who decorated the houses and did the stuff that Bobby does now.
Yeah, Bobby.
But it's funny because Carson was one of the judges on the show, and he's like, when they revealed who it was, he goes, "Well, like the second week, I started suspecting I knew this person," and I'm thinking, well, you should know him because you spent like 10 seasons
Yeah.
running home, But if you do um, the makeup, you can hide somebody's who they are. But I
Mm.
do know that we did figure out another person.
Uh,
Uh, and I'll just say they belong to a famous family. Um,
mm,
and they were always the one that got made fun of because they were so kind of character. You'll I don't want to give it away, but so there's a few that we figured out, so I'm feeling good about it.
let's
I
see.
mean, if
Dan Brady.
that's what the joy of the show is. But
Okay.
so anyway, let's see, on American Horror Story, I will warn you, the one that they just had on, it's kind of Puritans during the smallpox outbreak in the late 1700s. And one girl she's kind of like a prostitute in town, and all the men come to her so they can eat the pus out of
Oh
her
dear.
boils, because that keeps them safe from the
Yeah,
smallpox.
they did. Yeah, they did things like that. Yeah.
Yeah, and it's disgusting and disturbing. Just because, but then the end gets so Shakespearean, it's ridiculous. It's like, oh, she is the mother of my child, not my wife who just died. No, she was the one. And then when I met my wife, then I brought over my son, and she had two children already, so no one knew what was going on. And then the priest is going, "Oh my God, you all need to die. You need to die." It just got ridiculous at the end of it.
Okay.
But
I'm tempted to no, this is wait, this is American
American
Horror
Horror
Story. Yeah.
Stories,
I'm still tempted to watch that, but like how graphically horrific is it?
usually they're not too bad.
Yeah, because okay, I still kind of think I might watch that.
Yeah, what I like is they're just basically short stories that they
Alright,
can tell in a few minutes, and a lot of times they're funny as well as horrific.
okay.
So yeah, it's not too bad. Um, but this one, it's called Milkmaids, and it was not my favorite. And it was weird. They had a lot of people I didn't a lot of actors that I didn't recognize, which is weird because usually in Ryan Murphy's stuff, you can always see your old friends.
Yeah.
'Cause, everybody from Glee people to Nip Tuck people to uh, Scream Queens, American Horror Story, all of those old shows that they always seem to come back for. And
But
this was
never
like,
Glee. Interesting.
yeah, what do you mean never Glee?
Oh, I'm kidding. Didn't they have well, I mean, obviously,
Rachel was in Scream Queens.
was she?
Yeah, and Blaine was in
Oh,
uh
Blaine, yeah, and then Kevin McHale, he was in at least one or two.
yeah. So I
Oh,
mean,
yeah.
Kurt's writing children's books. He
Yes,
doesn't need to do what he was doing. And of course Rachel will be starring at this coming up this next month in
Annie.
Funny Girl on Broadway, and I'm very excited.
I think she'll do good.
Well, I mean, we basically have seen her do the whole show, so
You said it, but yes, they
yeah.
did do that.
Let's see. Only Murders finale. It was okay. I mean, it's the last year's was more fun because of the way it finished. But um, I do know that Paul Rudd is coming in for season 3,
Oh, I might have to actually watch it.
so that'll be fun. Big Brother, they did a double elimination, which was very exciting.
Have they taken out the racist guy yet?
No, he is It's even worse now.
Oh,
Yeah, on the non-live shows on Twitter, now they're just calling him racist all the time, and they're screaming for him to be removed from the show.
mm,
So we'll see
wow.
what happens there. Let's see, Alone. We just finished season 5. No, 5? 4, 5. No, it's 5 of Alone. They're only like usually 10 or 11 episodes. So um, this last time they had dropped them into Mongolia to survive. And Mongolia, what the fuck do we know about Mongolia? It's crazy. But it was interesting. Some people really thrived in it.
Mm,
Some of the other people just fell apart. One woman was, it was weird. She had MS, and she'd gotten it under control.
mm,
And but I they never said what happened to her after because she all of a sudden had like this MS all of a sudden occurred while she's there. She couldn't walk. They had to come and carry her out. So I looked online, and they say nothing except they did say that a mistake made by the producers um, left her having having her MS come up again. So I'm not sure what that meant, and I can't find out any information.
maybe
So,
it was something to do with the medication or something.
well, or they didn't give her medication,
Yeah,
maybe.
maybe.
Uh, I don't know. So, and she was one of my favorites, so I was really bummed about that. But so they left Mongolia, and so this new season they are in Antarctica.
Oh, I have famous relatives from there.
What, Santa?
No, actually, there's a mountain from named after one of my relatives, an admiral down there.
Of course.
Mhm.
Anyway, so it is. I mean, they've been there like a week, and it's starting to snow, and they say, oh, it could get down to below, 20 below zero,
Oh
and
God.
they've got where are they going to find food? It's like, okay, stop being so mean to these people.
Right.
And if you're going to throw them in a snowy area, throw them there in late summer, so
Yeah,
they have a
yeah.
little bit of time to adjust before you douse them in snow.
Make sure they have some flavoring for snow cones. Yeah, yeah.
Well, they do. It's called pea.
Oh,
Let's see. Now, did you watch House of Dragons yet?
yes,
Did you understand what was going on?
yes.
I mean, it was just like blah 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 blah. Nothing happened.
Ye- Unfortunately, that's the same way that Game of Thrones, which this is the sequel for anyone that doesn't know,
Right.
Game of Thrones started out the same way. The first season, especially the first 3 episodes, 4 episodes, were like, I didn't know what the fuck was going on. I didn't understand who people were. And it was just a bunch of fucking talk and boring. The only interesting scene was in the first episode where the brother and sister got it on and then pushed the kid out the window. Other
Right.
than that, I'm like, I don't understand. And then, of course, there was animal abuse and shit. But um, yeah, actually I am following it okay, but yeah, no, there's some posturing that was interesting on the dragon, and other than that, it was a bunch of talk and stupid choices that
Yeah.
anyway. Yeah.
Yeah. It's I don't. So I've only seen the first. I didn't watch this week's episode yet.
And
So
frankly, I'm tired of seeing Matt Smith and everything right now.
okay.
I mean, I like him for the most part, but ugh,
Let's see. She-Hulk, Attorney at Law just started. Have you watched those yet?
I've not caught up with that yet. No.
Yeah, it's cute.
Cool.
I mean, it's meant to be a funny show, even though they have some elements that are dramatic.
Hmm.
They lead to funny situations. So it's so far it's just fun. We'll see what happens. We watched Resident Evil Welcome to Raccoon City. Okay, first of all, no raccoons in the show at all.
Okay. no zombie raccoons.
Right. Or well, or they actually have a cow that when there's an explosion, this cow flies in the air. And I'm thinking, why couldn't it have been Flying Cow City? Because at least there's one. It's just the whole Resident Evil. And by the way, the new series on Netflix has already been canceled. Thank you.
Probably, I'm not surprised.
And then I did watch a stand-up called it's Tim Dillon, A Real Hero on Netflix, and he's a chubby boy
Mm,
and he's gay,
no.
but he doesn't really talk much about being chubby or gay in the show.
Oh,
So he's kind of an angry person,
mm.
and um,
Well, he's not
and,
addressing his issues.
and he sweated a lot. I mean, a lot.
Oh, that would
I
be.
kept wondering what the spots on his shirt were because I don't remember there being spots. And then I realized it was the sweat rolling off of his head. Now, what have we watched recently? We watched something, I think I remember you talking about it with me, where some fat guy, he was wet like across everything down from his head to above his nipples was wet, including his shirt, and it's because the sweat kept dripping down. And I can't think of what show that was.
I'm not
That
sure,
yeah,
but I do remember something about that.
yeah. But so that's it. I was waiting to see just how wet he ended up getting,
Mm.
but it wasn't too bad. He wasn't too bad, but he's angry, and I find that he's a lot like Nicole, not
Why?
Nicole, Nikki Glazier, and
Oh,
I can take them in small batches and they make great guests on shows,
yeah,
but I don't like the structure of their stand-up, if that makes sense.
yeah, yeah.
So
I totally get that.
yeah, so it was
Well, it,
entertaining, but
it's
still,
like, have you ever watched? Okay, so of course, you know who Eddie Izzard is.
yeah,
Eddie Izzard had one Dressed to Kill, phenomenal fucking show that put him on the map even more than where he was.
right,
Rest of his stand-up specials are, to me, shit. Even the
yeah,
audience that is there doesn't seem to be laughing or responding to him. I don't know how you can have that fucking phenomenal of a success that everybody references. It became cultural references out of that show, and everything else you do is just crap.
right,
I don't get it.
yeah. Well, it's interesting. I heard an interview with Quentin Tarantino,
Mhm.
and the interviewer was saying, "Okay, why are you just limiting yourself to 10 movies?" Because Tarantino doesn't want to make any more than 10 movies, and
Hmm.
he's finished number 9, so technically he should just have one left.
Hmm.
And they're going, why? Why would you do that? And he said, because if you look back at like directors or writers, like novelists and stuff like that, and the reason why, or even you can look at people who performing artists, you think back, how many of these people can actually go over a decade of being famous, who, like for instance, Manilow still plays in Vegas and he still has shows everywhere. He's been around since the mid 70s. Same with Bette Midler. They still have the thing. But then, where's Casey and the Sunshine Band? He had 2 songs and he's in and out. But what my point is that the longevity of artists is just so much. You start looking at how like certain directors, they start off with, like the first couple movies are kind of, yeah,
Hmm.
like M. Night Shyamalan,
Yeah.
right? His first couple movies were then all of a sudden he did The Sixth Sense and he
Hmm.
was huge. And
Yeah.
then his next movie, it was still good. It wasn't huge, but it was still good.
Hmm.
And then as he got along, he ran out of steam. And then people are like, oh, what's the twist on this one going to be? They just started recognizing his gimmicks
Right. Well,
and
yeah, and
they peter
I
out.
get that, but I mean, you throw that up against something like Stephen King.
Right. Well, then you got Stephen King or Steven Spielberg, and they're
Yeah,
both,
yeah,
but those are the exception, not the rule. And so I
yeah.
can see why he said that, and I get that. I just think that he's the exception.
I
You know,
would just say I think that's an interesting theory. Why don't you make some more movies after 10 and we'll see.
yeah,
Because he is a very good filmmaker.
yeah. Well, he just offers something that's different, and that's
Yeah.
actually why I like M. Night Shyamalan, is because he offers something different, and sometimes it's not great,
Mm.
but when every once in a while well, like every other one, one's good, one's bad, kind of back and forth.
But I mean, you look at even if I dare throw this out, my own writing, Last Romance is fucking phenomenal. But I had to write a few to figure out how to make a really good, phenomenal book. And probably my next one's going to be like, oh, that's nice. But then the one after that could be, the one that goes worldwide. You have to learn. Not everything's going to be fucking awesome, but you shouldn't stop yourself from being an artist and doing what you love just because you have a few that might not be uh what's the term that I want to use, that may not be societal hits, cultural phenomenons.
Well, if that's what your goal is, then
Yeah, I mean, you still have to whatever.
So what happened your week?
Oh, I said that I had dinner with some friends that was quite phenomenal.
Were
It's
you keeping up appearances?
wonderful. Well, actually, that came up during it. It's funny. I finally have, at nighttime, I like to watch a British comedy while I'm playing my Happy Color on my iPad and drifting into sleep. But I finally switched from the show that I was watching back to Keeping Up Appearances for a little bit. And actually, the neighbor Elizabeth passed away like not too terribly long ago, so it kind of reminded me of the show. It's so fun, and it still, stands up today in so many ways because we know these people. We we have these neighbors, so it's just very fun. Also, I kind of ran out of things to watch where of anything that I really wanted to invest my time in. So I went back to watching The Amazing Race. Picked up where I left off on episode or on season 24, which was I remembered why I stopped watching it for a while. It's because it was the Brenchel second Brenchel season with Brendan and Rachel. And oh my God, that woman. Oh, I mean, she gloated when something went right. She cried and whined and screamed when the slightest thing happened. I don't see how he just thought that was so attracted he had to be devoted to her, but whatever. He wasn't all that. Um, but yeah, so that was fun. And then thankfully, I only had a couple episodes of that before I went into 25, and now I'm in 26, which is the blind date season, where they take 10 people who've never met before and put them together so that as they run the race, perhaps they can find romance. And they pretty much all end up, except for one couple, end up hating each other. Um, oh, and this was the season that they had Jonathan from New Kids on the Block on there as well. So it's
Wait, you
actually
mean
a nice.
the newlywed? Newly
No, no. They
oh, wait,
it's the blind. They call it blind date. So they take 10 people who've never met before, and then they make them run the race in teams together, hoping that they will find love. But
who just got married? From wasn't it Jonathan from New Kids on the Block?
I don't know. I mean, he was, I think, with that guy for a long time. So,
Yeah, because
oh, there. Oh, are you talking the two gay guys that just recently got married? They were
well,
actors.
no, I'm talking about one of the guys from um it's either New Kids in the Block or Kids in the Block or
And they,
uh Backstreet Boys. One of them, uh, their
I,
lead
I,
singer got married to a man.
oh, well, I guess I'm a bad gay
You're
because,
bad gay.
yeah, wasn't Lance already married? Lance,
Yeah, it's not Lance. It's somebody named Jonathan. Or yeah, Jonathan.
maybe it was him. I'll
Yeah.
look it up later. Anyway, so that's fun. If you ever just want something to put in the background, there's your show. Um, Speaking of, I was also trying to find something late nighty to watch, so I started watching the Halloween baking competition, past seasons on what is it, Discovery? No, it's one of those that I watch on Amazon. It's yeah. Uh
Okay.
anyway, uh, it was fun, but definitely I'm ready for the autumn, but not quite ready to watch Halloween baking shows yet. Uh, but I really do I'm looking forward to hopefully they'll do one this year because they really did a good job with that. But I it then went into the Christmas holiday one, and I was like, oh no, no, no. Not only do I not care for the host, not interested. We did finish. Heather and I did finish Star Trek: Strange New Worlds. Really well done. Really, really well done. Have you watched it yet?
No.
Okay. I don't know how Star Trekky you are, but even if you just like, you know, episodal sci-fi show, fun, very
Okay.
fun show. Um, let's see. I watched Miss Congeniality. It just happened to be on, and I said, okay, let's do it. And it was so fun. It reminded me just how freaking fun that movie is and how much I love Sandra Bullock. And I said to you after I watched it that I think that she really is a national treasure. So love her movies. Then Miss Congeniality 2 popped up afterward, and I said, no, I'm not ready for that yet. Um, so there was on Netflix, there's a show called Cursed. That is the Back to the Fae, the King Arthur one series, but this is before King Arthur is Arthur or whatever, and this is basically focuses around Nimue, who I think is the she becomes like the lady in the lake, and it's all about the sword and her trying to resist because she turns out to be well, it's been out for like 2 years, so spoilers, she turns out to be Merlin's daughter. And yeah, so she ends up wielding the sword and trying to save the fairy folk, etc.
I
And
thought she was Arthur's daughter.
not no. In this, Arthur is actually her lover.
Oh, yeah, that's
Yeah.
all.
So, but this is very Netflix. Like you have your lesbian, you have your mixed race character, you have your, uh, disabled. It follows the suit, the kind of thing. Um, and sadly, I mean, it's fine for a show that you just want to you know, watch over a weekend while you're, I don't know if you're one of those wine sippers or whatever, but it just did not come together for me. And I can see why it didn't get renewed. And then I also watched Shadow and Bone. Now you tried watching that before, right?
Ugh.
You didn't care for it. Yeah. Again, it's kind of that mystical. Basically, there's a bad guy from long ago who divided the world in half by this horrible shadow spell, and it is prophesized that one day someone will be a sun caster that will make the whole shadow go away. And well, and then of course it's this young girl who just wants to be in love with a young boy, and they're orphans and blah blah blah, and she has no idea how she could yield this power. And it was basically the same thing as Cursed. um anyway, but this one actually I think has a season 2 coming. Or was it Cursed that had a season 2? No, it was Shadow and Bone has a season 2 coming out the end of this year. Yeah. I'll probably watch it, but I'm not thrilled about it. It's not horrible, but it's another okay, whatever. And then House of Dragons we talked about. Like I said, kind of tired of seeing Matt Smith and everything at the moment. especially when he's trying to play all bad guyish and he's still corny Doctor Who to me. Um, I hope it actually gets going with something. Right now, I'm just kind of feeling flat with it. And then finally, I found out just a little bit ago that Q Force will not be back for season 2. It was canceled unless something else picks it up. So, and I was kind of sad about that because it was actually really fun.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah. All right. Hey, we want to remind you to be loud, be proud, be too much. Be you. Fat Marker Clothing wants those of us who've been told we are too much of something. You turn those negatives into positives, and you can do that with the code FMWildChub to get 20% off anything while ordering over at fatmarkerclothing.com. And congratulations to them, especially to Julian, who is just winning all sorts of awards and being profiled in all these magazines and everything. You know, that he's really, they have really done a lot for um, bear and chub recognition and, you know, acceptance, etc. So, congrats. All right, ready for some advice? Is
Yes,
that what
please.
you're doing? You pre-reading it?
No.
Okay. I am a 26-year-old woman. My parents are well off, and I enjoy private education, nice vacations, and a number of other advantages. But it was always understood that I would go to college, pursue a career, and make my own way in the world. Recently, my grandmother died and left me with my siblings with enough money that theoretically we don't have to work unless we want to. I hadn't realized how substantial my inheritance was. I love my work and I have no intention of quitting. Everyone I know works. My boyfriend has changed overnight from being a lovable, down to earth guy to being someone I don't recognize. He's pressuring me to quit my job and work with him on an unfunded travel blog. He has also recently started being inexplicably rude to waitstaff and is expressing increasingly conservative views about poor people. The other day, he made an overtly racist joke about our cab driver's nationality and his laziness. I was mortified. When I challenge him on some of his more offensive behaviors, he tells me he's joking. He is joking. I feel like the shift has only occurred since we discovered I had more money. I don't want to break up with him because I love him, but I'm blindsided by this change. Is this who he's always been, or has the money changed him? He's always been a dick. You just never saw it. Dump him.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah. You good with that,
And
right?
I mean, I'm already thinking Kyle from KKK Kyle from Big Brother. Just
Ah, yeah.
there's no reason for it.
Yeah.
And you know what? If you hang out with him, this is guilt by association. You know, if you don't see a problem with that, you're the problem.
Yeah. I'm sorry, but if somebody, gave me $100 million or, 50 million or whatever, I'm not going to suddenly turn into a big ass racist. Uh, thank you very much. So that's who he's been. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, all right. Um, Dear Prudy had to say, I'm not sure if your boyfriend has always been like this in the sense that he's been counting on your inheritance from your first date, but no, your grandmother's money didn't magically and overwhelmingly change him into a selfish, self centered, thoughtless, racist person. It didn't magically make you any of those things overnight, and it's your bank account. Surely, if that's just what that amount of money does automatically to any human who comes across it, you'd be as irreparably changed as he is, and would have thought his joke about your cab driver was absolutely hilarious. I know you love him, but I think if you stick around and listen to many more of his pound cake speeches, whoa, or watch him push around a bunch of underpaid waitresses, you're going to watch your love shrivel up and die in record time. He is telling you everything that you need to know about his character. He feels entitled to your money, doesn't care about your career, thinks people who work in restaurants and drive cabs and work in the service industry are beneath him, doesn't even bother to hide his contempt from you, and thinks you're stupid enough to buy his excuse that his overnight personality change has happened to coincide with your inheritance. It's just a series of hilarious jokes. He is handing you a red flag after red flag, and if you ignore these warnings, it'll be at your own peril.
I agree.
Agree? All right. Hey, Chubs, do you think Trump will run for president again?
Yeah, I think he'll run, but I don't know that he'll actually be the one that they choose to go against whoever. I don't think he might not be the final person
Hmm.
running for the GOP.
See, I would say normally, yes, I think that he will again for his own ego, if nothing else. But with the new stuff, I'm kind of wondering if he's going to end up running into being barred from running.
Well,
I don't know. I'm just curious about
I
it.
know it just takes so long for this shit to get going.
Funny thing, yeah.
And so that's the only thing that worries me about that is that, how long are they going to wait,
Hmm.
you know, before they do something? Because, if I mean, we've got people right now that are that are running for office that are part of the January 6th,
Yeah,
that these are people that were at the Capitol with, flags and guns in their car, and they are running for office. So
yeah.
I don't know. I just don't know what they're doing anymore.
Freaking stupid. Hey Chubbs, do you keep in touch with anyone from your primary school?
Um, I mean, kinda, but not really.
Hmm.
I mean, I got some on, Facebook, and it's not like, hey, let's go and get coffee or,
Yeah.
meet for lunch, that kind of thing.
Hmm.
At
I
least not at this point.
I think uh no, he wasn't from my primary school. I didn't meet him till like seventh grade, but I do have at least one friend, one no, two friends that from like seventh grade that I kind of kept in touch with. And then actually your coworker was the last person that I really kept in touch with from remember Jennifer from
Okay.
VPD?
Uh,
She and we went to like sixth grade together, turned out.
oh, okay.
Yeah. So yeah, I'll tell you her last name later and you'll know who I'm talking about.
Yeah, I think I know who you're talking about.
Yeah. So that's the last person that I really think that I kept in touch with. And that was just like in passing. So yeah. No, yeah. Hey, Tom, take a guess. What year was the oldest schoolhouse still standing in the US? All right, let me try this again. What year was the oldest schoolhouse still standing in the US built? Ballpark guess.
I would say so 1640.
Actually, not a bad guess. The oldest schoolhouse still standing in the United States is the Voilezur's house, built prior to 1696. So prior to 1940s or 1640s is a good guess. Um, and located in historic Richmond in Staten Island, New York. The building is encircled by a large chain placed there in 1937 to help anchor it to the ground in case of a hurricane.
Wow.
Yeah. Okay. Well, now that takes us to our next very large segment since Tom has been gone for many, many weeks. Uh, so we're going to start out with a couple smaller ones, however. Tom, would you like to tell us about this photo of yours?
Oh, I'm not on that.
I know, but it's the second one.
All right, well, let me get out of this so I
It's
can
making
go
me very hungry, so.
there.
Mm,
Okay, this was a six-piece uh
yeah,
uh, what we call strips
yeah.
with Cajun fries
Oh,
from Popeyes. The only problem was when I got it home, they gave me zero dips.
oh,
So I had to get my own stuff. But I had ranch anyway. So,
yeah.
but it was kind of disappointing because otherwise it was fantastic.
It looks it.
Yeah.
Phoenix Day wrote in and said, my hubby turned me on to the wonderful margaritas. Uh, let's see, since I am a state coal mine worker, this is the next best thing to either imbibing or partaking in of edibles, both of which I love. And this is still legal in my no this is still legal in my no so great state. Hmm. I Interesting. Uh, it's a photo of sweet and sour, handcrafted sweet and sour mixer, J brand triple sec, and Margaritaville silver tequila.
So,
Oh,
so
ah,
what happens is instead of making, buying a margarita mix, he's
mhm.
making his own mix up with a
That's
with a lovely tequila. So
that's cool. The dinner that I mentioned that I went to, our dear friend Lori Dean went with me, and he brought some sweet mixes, and we had I had a margarita that what had the mix was probably the best mix I have ever tasted. Plus fresh strawberries put in it and a generous amount of tequila. And then a little bit later, we had a Bloody Mary with pickled asparagus and a very lovely olive in it. And again, a really great mix. So, yeah, I don't really drink anymore, but I will on social occasions.
oh,
I know, but I will on social occasions. And yeah, I remembered it the next day. Not a hangover, but just that, like, yeah, I drank. Mm.
you mean this morning?
Uh, well, no, this was on Saturday, but I still did feel it kind of this
Wait,
morning
what's
too.
the picture you sent me last night?
Uh, I have no idea.
Oh, that
It could have been, let's see.
was you at a
Everyone,
party.
no. Oh, yeah. Well, no, that was it. That was the dinner. I just sent you the photos the day after.
I see.
Yeah.
Okay.
Anyway. All right. Well, now we get to 14, 15, 16, 17 amazing submissions by Mr. Moose P, who also went on vacation. So let us begin with grilled chicken, bacon, and ranch wrapped with fries. Ah,
No,
those fries look really good to me right
it's a
now.
chicken bacon ranch wrap
Yes.
with fries. It
Ah,
sounded like made it sound like it was wrapped with fries.
oh, that sounds good too. Really. Um, let's see.
And
Next
these
up,
fries look excellent, by the
they
way.
do.
And I'm not a big fan of wraps, but I would eat that so fast.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's looks really good.
Now, this is an appetizer of fried green tomatoes, a
Yes.
seasonal item that I have to get when I can. Um, yeah, I think I've only had it once.
Well, and these look really encrusted because that's
Yeah.
one thing I hate about fried green tomatoes is that when you get them, the good stuff on the outside is flaking off, and
Hmm.
then and the tomato the juice from the tomato is making everything soggy. These do not look soggy.
You
I
know,
don't.
and I hear that with fried green tomatoes, you need to eat them while they are warm.
Oh yeah, yeah, definitely.
Next up we have, oh my gosh,
Oh my God, what is
yeah,
this? What
because
is it?
I'm indulging on treats with the excuse of it's my birthday. Here's a piece of chocolate cake with caramel icing. Was yummy. There was a bit of icing on the cake that looked like a bug. Not a bug, just icing with a candy sprinkle.
Yeah, it looks almost like a bee.
So good. That
Yeah,
frost. Uh,
yeah. I don't care if there's is a bug in there. I'll eat it.
yeah. And then can't resist ice cream. This is buttered pecan, one of my
Wow,
favorites.
that looks like a cloud
It
of.
does. I actually I didn't know exactly what it was when I saw the photo. I thought it was some sort of cream. It was so good. Um, wanted something light for lunch. Got a salad, tomato, avocado, hearts of palm, feta cheese, whip, roasted chicken, pita points for a little something extra, and now off to the pool. Oh, did you see the pool pic?
Yeah, yes.
Mhm.
Um, yeah,
Yeah,
and this salad looks really good.
yes. A chicken salad with shaved eggs.
Oh my God. Oh my
I
God.
know, that's amazing. Mixed greens in there too. That it just looks lovely. Oh, what's this? Oatmeal for breakfast served with honey, banana, and chocolate chips. And I love the way that it's arranged. It makes it
Yeah,
because
the presentation's
yeah,
gorgeous.
it makes me want oatmeal. So
Yeah.
that's impressive. Um, needed a snack, but still wanted to look okay in my Speedo. Oh, you did. Do mixed greens with vinaigrette, avocado, and tomato. And now back to the pool. Yeah, I could do without the mixed greens, but that avocado looks perfect. Mm. Next, oh, no, no, no. Read that one. Moving on. Cheeseburger with cheddar and fries. Perfect lunch.
Little Thousand Island there. Yum yum.
Ah, Cuban sandwich. Oh, grilled bread, pickle, Dijon mustard, Swiss cheese, ham, pulled pork, side of fries. Wow, that's like a sandwich with about everything. Mm-hmm.
And the fries look excellent.
Do they? Yeah.
They,
Uh,
they, they look crispy.
yeah, crispy is like one of the keys to fries. Crispy, but not dried out.
Yeah, because McDonald's is they're not cooking the fries long enough anymore. They're not. I mean, when you get McDonald's fries were
Mm.
always very crispy on the outside and very tender on the inside. Now you hold up the fry and it goes, "Ugh," it's a
Oh, that sucks. Because
yeah.
I
Uh,
love McDonald's fries.
well, I do too, but not anymore.
Yeah,
I
apparently.
would I would go with Popeye's fries before. Actually, KFC's fries are good, but you got to eat those hot.
Mm,
So you really have to finish them in the car because by the time you get them home, they're like little rocks.
yeah, I have always thought that McDonald's fries are the best, and I always hear that, oh, that's because they cooked them with sugar. I don't give a shit.
No, what it used to be
Fry.
was they used to cook them with peanut oil, but
Really?
as soon as the peanut allergy thing kicked
Yeah.
in, they changed the oils, and that's why it tastes a little bit different. But shoestring potatoes usually are the best to work with. You know who's else I hate? We went to In and Out on our way back
Mm.
from Palm Springs.
Ish.
Stopped In and Out, and neither of us finished our fries because
No.
they're
Mm,
they're they're undercooked, crappy,
yep.
no taste. I mean, when you have to throw cheese and a Thousand Island dressing on them to make them even palatable, then they're bad fries.
Yeah, I don't like their fries. I do like their burgers for the most part, but now that they're just so, well, I mean, not that they weren't before, but now that they're making a big deal about the religious stuff again, and they're in the middle of it, they're becoming another
Chick-fil-A.
Chick-fil-A. So, but I I always thought their fries were crap. Okay, breakfast with fruit, melon, blueberries, blackberries, raspberries, and a bagel. Wow, that's a lot of berries. Hmm.
In the
Uh,
cream cheese.
is that cream?
Yeah.
Oh, I missed that.
See,
I
he
okay.
gets
I thought
he
it
got
was butter, but yeah, you're right.
no, he got the bagel toasted, and then
Mm.
he gets to apply his own cream cheese.
I love cream cheese on bagels.
Yeah, we actually got a dozen bagels and a bucket of cream cheese from Costco, and oddly enough, we ate that quite a bit when we were in Palm Springs. It's like, oh, it's too late to go get something to eat. Let's just have bagels,
Nice.
at 8 o'clock at night. It was weird,
Mm,
but it was good. It was good.
good. Yeah. A key lime, let's see, key lime pie, a must in Florida. That looks like, I love, yummy.
It's interesting
Key lime is one of my favorites.
that it's not green.
Yeah, well, this one looks like, okay, so there's kind of the differences are this one kind of looks more homemade because Lurie Dean makes key lime pie, but he makes it from like kind of the original homemade type recipe. And then there is the green one, which is much more a cream. So it's light, and this is usually this is much more dense.
Well, and Sean did get the key lime pie for the room, and it was tasty. It
Good.
wasn't my favorite key lime, but it was tasty.
Key lime and pumpkin, not together, are my favorite pies. I
They
know.
have pumpkin pies now at Costco, by the way.
I still need to wait till at least October before I indulge in that.
Well, you're out getting your pumpkin flavored coffees.
No, I'm not.
Oh, I thought that's what you said yesterday on Facebook.
Oh no, that was one of those memories that I reshared. Yeah.
Okay, what's this? What is this?
Okay, next up we have fried haddock sandwich
Oh,
with tomato and aloe. Hmm. Okay, and a side of fries.
what did the
Nice.
hubby get? That looks good too.
Yeah, it
Is
looks
that the same
like surf and
thing?
turf over there.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know what those wrap things are, but they look good.
Yeah.
And that sandwich looks pretty similar to the haddock. Oh my God. Oh,
Yep.
I need a fish sandwich now. I hope you're happy.
uh, then we have let's see, clam chowder, cream, bacon, potatoes, and real clams right out of the bay.
I am so
Coconut,
hungry right now. I'm so
yeah,
hungry.
I know, right? Well, wait till you get to the coconut shrimp with fries and slaw. That looks great.
I'm there.
Thai red curry chicken, really great. And is this the last one? This is the last one. Chicken and shrimp pad thai. Good also.
Well, you just ran right past the shrimp and fries.
I know the coconut shrimp with fries and slaw.
Yum.
The shrimp looks amazing. I would totally be into that.
And the curry looks good. And oh my God. Okay.
So
Thanks for 408 69 Chubs.
yeah. By the way, if you want to look at these photos, and please do go over to facebook.com/Chubs Gone Wild. They are posted over there as of this afternoon. All right, so yeah, I gotta go cook something. Send us an email at chubsgonewild@gmail.com. Leave us a comment at chubsgonewild.com. Like us on Facebook, facebook.com/chubsgonewild. Watch our videos over at YouTube. Just search for Chubs Gone Wild. Please consider becoming a patron of the show over at patreon.com/Matt Burlingame. Find Tom's movie and TV reviews over at swannerandjudd.com and their podcast in iTunes or on iHeartRadio. Find out more about my books at justkisstheguy.com and check out my other podcast at biggaysekshow.com. And give us a call at
408 69 Chubs.
Yes, Queen. Well, thank you so much for joining us. We hope that you didn't miss us too much while Tom was on vacation.
Oh my
But
God. Stop blaming me for everything.
hey, me. No, I think it's wonderful that you went on vacation.
Yeah,
I
but
mean, I would like to go
all of
watch.
our listeners, because I was gone for a week.
I would like to go to another town to watch TV and eat bagels too. But here I am. I'll just have to do it at home. Anyway.
Mwah.
All right. Thanks for joining us. We'll catch you next week. Bye.
Bye.